We're back with Laura Cayouette.
Hello, hello.
How are you, Laura?
Oh, Lord. How are we supposed to answer that nowadays?
Don't
I'm
even
hanging
know.
in there.
It's been a while since we last talked, and I know you're in New Orleans. Were you affected by Hurricane Zeta?
You know, I probably shouldn't even tell this tale because it'll make me easier to find in the world, but we were, you know how every time there's a disaster, they always show one location that, like, really shows you how bad it was?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was our house.
Oh,
no.
It was our house. It was in all the AP photos, all the global, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
So we were okay, but the house next door to us, which was abandoned, had collapsed, and it fell sideways into our house. And so yeah, it was not so good, Zeta, for us.
No, that's not good. Oh my God! Besides the whole year being a total dumpster fire, then
calamity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a total work-free zone for me.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's another thing. I was wondering if you were able to work at all. Yeah, so.
You know, I mean, I'm able to find things to do in lieu of my career. You know, I'm able to occupy my time.
How is New Orleans though with the lockdown? Are you like up here? It's mandatory masks everywhere. Are you guys mandatory down there?
Yes, actually, we're very careful here because, you know, we're a black city, so we take it very seriously and have from the very beginning. And I would say the only people you see not masking around here, if you're walking down the street and there's nobody around you, why would you wear a mask?
Yes.
But the people that you see, like, on the city streets, you know, like where it's more crowded,
yeah,
they're the tourists. And we have tourists. We have actual tourists.
Wow.
And they come here from other parts, and they don't mask.
Wow. See, that's what I was wondering, too, if tourism is still a thing right now. But, yeah, no, why would... Oh, I can't believe that they come there.
It's just so disrespectful.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Well, and look, of course, some tourists, many tourists do mask. Many tourists mask.
That's what I mean.
But there are many who don't, and they, you know, I don't get the point of it because you can't go in anywhere.
No, yeah, like, if anything, you should be more careful if you're going somewhere else, I feel. I don't know.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, I'm careful not to spill things in my own home, but I'm really careful not to spill things in somebody else's home, you know?
Yes. Oh.
Here's a little tip, though, because I work in retail. Apparently, you can get inside of any retail store, or at least the retailer that I work for, without wearing a mask, as long as you just say, I got a medical condition. You're good. That's all I gotta do. I got a medical condition.
What exactly would that medical condition be?
Yeah, none of your business.
I
don't got papers, but I got a middle finger.
I don't need. I'm not allowed to look into it.
Back when we were voting, I remember there was somebody in the line, and of course, you know, with the voting, you had to mask. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And there was somebody, you know, saying they didn't want to, and that they couldn't breathe. They said they had trouble breathing. And I said, you have trouble breathing? And they said, yeah. And I said, well, imagine how much worse it will be if you get COVID.
Yes, that's what I'm always thinking. That's what
I
I'm
don't
always
get the
thinking.
logic.
Like, you're not going to be able to breathe at all with that.
Right.
Or I'll be in a store, and the stores everywhere have these public service like type announcements that play, and it's like, if you don't want to wear a mask, you could do the online orders. And I just want it once to be like, if you don't want to wear a mask, you're gonna die. I just want to hear that.
Well, and that's the thing is that we still have a lot of death here, and
Same.
I lost 4 people in 2 months, and you know it's pretty common around here. A lot of people have lost people. We have one of our parade crews lost 40 people in the first few months, so I don't even know how many people they've lost now.
Wow.
Because it was an all-black crew, and so they've just, you know, they had like, I think maybe 1,500 members, and they've just lost a swath of them.
Yeah, that's a big.
So. Yeah, so I mean, we're pretty serious about it down here. I don't mean to be the bummer, but it is death, you know.
Yeah, it is. I remember when I have a buddy that works in the funeral home industry, and I asked him, and he was like, "Yes, it's insane. I work 12-hour days, and sometimes come in like in the middle of the night, like to do stuff. Like it's a lot. It's a lot.
Well, and I think we think about the healthcare workers, but you're right. I don't think we think about the end of the journey and how many people are busy on that end.
And there was one of the islands in New York that they were just bringing bodies to, like, because they had nowhere else to put them at one point.
Which is just gruesome. And then my friends in L.A., like, you know that if you are sick in L.A., they evaluate you at your house, and if you're too far gone, they just leave you?
Wow.
Wow.
So it could be worse. We could be in LA.
Yes.
So.
They're just like, you're gonna die. See you later. Good luck.
Just be in your own bed. Just be in your own bed, and we'll see you sometime at some point.
R.I.P.
Wow.
I think better days are ahead, but I think we have another couple months.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We're gonna have some.
Yeah.
We're definitely gonna have some.
Well, the vaccine is out there. I was telling Rob before the show. My mother just got the vaccine.
But then I also.
Did your mom? Okay. Then maybe your mom can free herself up to help my mom, because my mom has now a posse of people. She lives in Florida, and every Wednesday you have to call in.
Okay.
And so today she had herself, my brother, my sister-in-law. Like, she had this whole line of people calling in to try and get her an appointment, and they were unsuccessful.
So I
now
don't
they
know.
have to wait until next Wednesday.
My mother's a healthcare worker, so I think she just got it first. She works. She's a cook at a nursing home.
Oh my gosh!
That's
Yeah. So she just got it like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Hopefully she won't be dead in 2 days. I don't know.
That's the other thing I heard. I've heard some people got the vaccine.
Well, my father got it, and he unrelated, did get sick and ended up having to go to the hospital. And I was like, it's only been 2 days. He can't go near that hospital. But he had to go to the hospital, and he's been so careful. He's been so careful. But you know, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Laura, I know last time we had you on, we talked a bunch about Django Unchained, and I had watched it right before that. But now I looked it up again, and I'm gonna have to rewatch it because Walton Goggins was in that movie.
Who was
yes.
he?
I love him. Yes. I love him. And he was Billy
actually
Crash.
Had a hell of a ride. You should ask him about his ride, because he originally had this part, Billy Crash, that was a smaller part, and then there was this other part that was supposed to be played by a different actor, and that didn't end up working out well, and so the other actor was no longer involved, and Walton ended up taking the lion's share of his lines. And so Walton and I had already been doing this part where he was playing the part he was supposed to play, and in that we were love interests. And so, like, in the scene where they ride up to Candyland for the first moment, and they see Candyland for the very first moment, and I'm sitting up on the balcony having tea and scones.
Yes.
There's a guy sitting with me, and it's Walton, but we couldn't show it because Walton is also in the caravan coming up to the house.
Oh.
Because he ended up taking that other guy's lines, and that guy is in the caravan. So we had to cut him out of the scenes where he was in the house with me, where he was being my love interest, because it didn't make sense anymore.
Yes.
So, so if you watch closely, you can see a little piece of Walton sitting on the balcony with me, watching himself come up the...
That's cool.
That's amazing. I wanted to ask you, what kind of interaction you have with him, because I've seen him in Vice Principals and The Righteous Gemstones, and I love him. I love him. He's great.
Well, and the new show is real cute, too. Have you seen The Unicorn?
I know, but I've wanted to get around to see that. I've heard it's really good. I've heard it's a really great show.
It's cute. It's really, it is. It's fun, and it's you know, it's good, clean fun for the whole family. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, he's great to work with. We had a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Can you get us in touch with him?
I was gonna say.
Oh Lord, I haven't talked to him since Django.
Yeah.
You know, there's the people that you definitely stay in touch with. There's the people you peripherally stay in touch with, and then there's the people that if you ran into him, you'd be thrilled to see him, but you didn't make a point of it. And he's one of those. I'd be thrilled to see him, and I didn't make a point of it.
That's great. And I wanted to ask you, too, I know we talked about it, too, that Tarantino wrote the role of Lara Lee. for you, but did you have to audition or anything like that?
I did. Not only that, but not only did I have to read for the role that was written with me in mind, but then even after that, pretty much the whole time, the studio did not want me. So I had to fight for my role even along the way.
Wow. They were like, because we're going to get someone else in here right now.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
There were a lot of way bigger names and interested, as there were when I did Kill Bill. When I did Kill Bill, there were people, people you'd never think of, people that are so wrong for the role, but that just have huge names,
Wow.
Yeah.
Just the fact that you had to fight.
Yeah, like the names that were trying to be the Southern Belle from Louisiana where is she from? In Mississippi.
Yeah.
The names of the women who were trying to get that role in Django, it's like, what are you thinking? And thank God they didn't get it. They're all terrific actors who would have been so wrong for the role.
Right.
Wow. Just not only the fact that you had to fight for it in the first place, but the whole way, every step of the way, like that blows my mind.
Oh, it's common. It happens to me a lot because I never did the whole get famous thing, I just didn't do the stuff you got to do to be a famous person, and so they like famous.
Can you give me a quick reminder, who were you in Kill Bill?
I was Rocket. I was the stripper that runs the strip joint that Michael Madsen works in.
Oh, okay, cool.
How's he doing, Michael Madsen? He had a rough
I love. Now, he and I have done a couple of movies together, and he's a handful and a half, but I adore him. We did Kill Bill, and then I produced a movie with Quentin called Hell Ride that starred Michael Madsen, Dennis Hopper, David Carradine, Eric Balfour. It was a like a macho. It was a biker movie. And it was written and directed by Larry Bishop, the son of Joey Bishop of the Rat Pack.
Wow.
Have you been involved in any of the recent Tarantino stuff? What was it? Once Upon a Time in
Hollywood?
No, but wasn't that great?
I have not seen it.
I haven't seen it yet.
I didn't know. I figured Slim did.
I watched the first maybe 30, 40 minutes of it very drunk, and I fell asleep. So I gotta go back.
Oh no! So you don't even know. You don't even know.
He doesn't. I've never gotten around to pick it up. But Slim's like, I've tried it and I've been drunk.
But I do vaguely I will very much remember just a scene where the main character, what is it? Brad? No, not who's the other guy? Not Brad Pitt. It's
Leo.
Leo. Leonardo DiCaprio talking to the guy who's telling him he's got to be the villain from now on. He used to be the hero, now he's got to play the villain. That was a really cool fucking scene. And I don't know, I just never got back to watching the rest.
Well, you should definitely watch it. I mean, first of all, it's too bad we don't have big screens. It's a decision to go to a big screen movie right now if they're even open. But that is such a big screen movie, and it was fun to see with an audience, kind of world, back when we used to do that. But that movie, I think if you like film and television and the history of film and television, I think that you can't help but love that movie. But I also think it's like the crescendo of this conversation that Quentin has been having with us for years about violence in movies.
Wow.
It's because Quentin has been having this very long dialogue with us about the place for violence in movies. And I think that movie, more than any other, sort of brings it all together, all the ideas he's been trying to expose us to about violence in movies.
Wow.
I mean, Django really handled violence interesting because normally Quentin puts movie violence in his movies and realistic violence in his more reality-based movies.
Yeah.
And in Django, he mixed it, where whenever it was over-the-top cowboys versus Indians type scenes, he would have these big, blowouts, and we called them blood bombs, and it was very operatic violence. And then when you would see the violence against the slaves, it was all very realistic and upsetting.
Yes.
And And I thought, well, isn't that interesting that he's going back and forth navigating this territory, again, having this big conversation about what is the place for violence in movies and how does it work. And so when we get to Once Upon a Time, I mean, I can't talk about any of it because you fell asleep for all the spoilers.
Right, yeah.
But it's a very, it's a big deal part of that conversation.
Okay.
Cool.
What about, I can't remember, was Hateful Eight after Django, or was that before
was after
Django?
Django.
Yeah,
That was after
no, Hateful
Django.
Eight was after.
Okay, I did see Hateful Eight in theaters. I just couldn't remember when it came out.
Laura, what is the last movie you saw in theaters?
Oh, gosh. What was the last movie I saw? I can tell you the last thing I did before everything shut down was I went to a Pelicans game, the NBA Pelicans game.
Yeah.
And I went to a thing called Got Gumbo, which is they have like 25 different restaurants, 25 different restaurants will offer 2 to 3 different types of gumbos, and or they can also include desserts as well. And you pay like $25. The money goes to United Way, and it's all you can eat of all the. It's literally over 100 gumbos.
That sounds amazing.
And so that was the last thing I did in the world before everything shut down.
Nice. I just want to throw out there, Slim has another character he does, and somebody asked that character to talk about Gumbo, but he thought it was Gumby. So he did this whole like rap song about Gumby, the clay, the little clay guy. He's
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know what? I can't even laugh, though, because I'm sitting here in lipstick and mascara because I forgot that this was a call-in show. I only wear lipstick and mascara like once a month, and you guys got it, and you can't see it.
We got the best of you. Oh, man, I can't believe I missed it. I did see, though, Laura, you did put out another version of your book, No Small Parts.
I
correct?
did. I did an update, second edition, and I added over 70 new pages.
Cool. Can you tell us anything that you added, or is that?
I can. Most of the new editions, I added a huge section, a whole chapter on self-taping because, much like Zoom has taken over how we get together in the world, auditions now are, we were already having a lot of self-taping for auditions, but now it's just like that's the way you audition now.
Yeah.
So I thought any current book about acting has got to have a chapter on self-taping, or it's not current. And the other thing that to me felt out of date was that, it turns out that 94% of the women in my union report having been assaulted at work. So I don't think you can have a current book about acting without including a chapter on Me Too, like what to do if you see it or you hear about it or you are a victim or, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, so I included that. And then the other thing that changed a lot is conventions. When I was starting out, conventions were where careers went to die. And now it's like where you launch Wonder Woman, It's important to be part of the convention scene. So I wrote about that as well. And then I updated the whole book. Technologically, things change very quickly. So I don't recommend that people follow books for technology advice, but I do think you should always be updating.
Cool. What is one of the most important things to do about auditioning right now, about a Zoom audition?
Oh, gosh. Well, one of the most important things to do, I guess, would be to have, some proper lighting and a decent camera. But I think one of the mistakes that people make is, the most common mistake is when you self-tape, I think people tend to do it when they think they're ready, and then they just keep doing it until they think they got it. And that is not how we audition. We audition at an appointment time, and we audition for, a specific amount of time, and then it's somebody else's turn. And you should do that even at home. You should schedule a time that you're going to tape your audition, and then you should tape it at that time, and you should do it, 2 or 3 times, just like you might get to do in the office, and then be done.
Nice.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I think people get really kind of like loosey-goosey when they're at home.
Yeah, that's what I would feel. I would definitely do that.
So, you know, it's good to remember it's a job. It's a job interview. It's a disciplined thing that's happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you too. What is some of your favorite feedback that you've received about the book?
Well, my favorite feedback is when people tell me it got them work. And I'll tell you why, is because I'm exceedingly practical. I mean, anybody who's read that book knows I'm really ridiculously practical. I live a dreamer's life, but I think the only way to live a dreamer's life is to understand, like, money and appointments and things like that. So it's extremely practical, and I think that because of that, what I really care about the most is, did I help you? Did I help you get to the money part? Did I help you get the job? And so that, to me, are the compliments that I guess mean the most to me in that way, is that when I help somebody further their career, that is very gratifying. But, of course, I really enjoy it when people say that they had some sort of epiphany, or that they my favorite feeling is when I either hear about or actually see in person somebody pull out my book and it's all dog-eared and, you know, highlighter all through it, and you can tell that they are using it.
Yes. That's
yes,
awesome.
that feels so good.
It's got to be a great feeling.
Yeah. It is, because, you know, I wrote the book to demystify this, you know, very behind-the-curtain job.
Yes.
And so it makes me feel good when people are able to put it to good use and turn it into practical wisdom.
Cool. And I wanted to ask, too, what, having 25 years in acting and directing and all that, what has surprised you the most? Is there anything that's totally been like, wow, I never thought I'd see that in this life?
That I never thought I'd do that?
See that? Like, is there anything that's ever thrown you for a loop that you've seen that's been like, wow, that's totally shocked me?
Well, Harvey Weinstein's in jail. That's the most shocking thing of my entire career.
Had you ever interacted with Harvey Weinstein?
Yeah.
I did 5 movies with Harvey.
Yes. I know that he did Django. We talked to Escalante Lundy, and he said during the scene he did in the Mandingo fight, he came on and he was screaming at Quentin, like, you're running me over. You're costing me too much. Like, so yeah, I heard he was like a real presence.
Well, I will tell you, I'm very blessed because he hated me. He always hated me. And I did 5 movies with that guy, and he still hated me. I worked with 4 different of his directors, and he still hated me. He always hated me. And I used to be so sad about it. Why does Harvey hate me? And he used to hate me internationally. Like, we'd run into each other in other countries, and he'd hate me. And he'd never say anything like, I hate you. He would just look at me like, oh, my God, you again?
Wow.
And
he was just like, this woman isn't going to sleep with me.
That's it, Laura.
The thing is, now I feel so blessed because I didn't know that the option was he hates you or, you know, rape.
Or he rapes you.
I didn't know those were your choises. So I really feel blessed. I feel very, very blessed that he hated me.
You're a hero, Laura.
I don't know what it was that made him so anti, but I'm glad now. Whatever it was, I wish I could bottle it and sell it to other women.
Yes, you threw off the right fucking vibe, Laura. That's all we know.
You're just too intimidating.
Well, I really don't know. Like, I have some guesses as to why I was not his favorite person, but it now becomes a little more clear of that maybe because I never slept with him. Like, maybe that was the problem.
Yes. Oh my God, that's wow. You're amazing. You're amazing, Laura. You're awesome.
Well, it's a brutal world out there, so he was just one of the many. But I am shocked that he ended up in jail because it's so much a part of how people do business. Yes,
which is what I felt was good about that because it hopefully will change that. Hopefully will change that.
So well, one guy went to jail. A whole one.
So without you getting yourself in trouble, you can say that there's a lot of people still in Hollywood doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
All the rest of them. Only one guy went to jail.
Wow.
All the rest of them are still doing what they did.
Yeah.
It's a very small price to pay. All you have to do is not be Harvey. So, and you're safe.
Yeah.
You're free.
Oh, shit. Shit.
Yeah. Well, and as somebody very close to me observed, they said, none of mine will ever go to jail because mine are pretty. And the pretty guys will never get called out.
Wow.
It's true. They're the last of the list is the pretty guys.
Can you list their names right now?
Can you?
Oh, no. No. I love
Who are those? I'm going to start looking up pretty directors and see.
It's part of the business. And it's not just part of our business. It's part of business.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shit.
So it's just something that is, don't have daughters unless you're ready to, train them to defend themselves.
Yes. Laura, thank you so much for talking to us.
On that high note.
We'll end it on that.
Don't have daughters.
Don't have
daughters.
We're wanting some more rape talk, right?
All our show is rape talk.
Yeah.
Beginning to
Well, I
end.
do remember that you guys are more into that talk than I.
Well, we do our skit, but it's dances.
Well, it was so good to talk to you guys again.
Oh, it was great. Thank you, Laura. Thank you for coming on again. Where can
You
everybody
always
find
get me
you?
laughing, so I appreciate that.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Where can everybody find you?
Well, I'm on Twitter at No Small Parts, KNOW Small Parts. Or you can just search Laura Cayouette, I guess. Or you could just go to lauracayouette.com, my website, which has links to all my Facebook and my Twitter and my whatever.
Awesome.
All my books. I have
books.
7 books now, so there's also that. And you can find me on Amazon as well.
Are you working on an 8th book?
I am taking a short break and getting a lot of noise about how I need to do audiobooks of the books I already have before I go into doing other books. But currently, right now, when I'm teaching, I'm teaching online. So, like, anybody in your audience could hire me. I mean, I'm teaching online, and then the other thing I'm doing is I'm working on a documentary. And it's early, so I'm not really talking a whole lot about it, but I am working on a documentary here in New Orleans.
Awesome.
Are you teaching acting online?
Yes.
I am. I also teach directors and writers, but
Awesome.
I taught at UNO, the University of New Orleans. I taught graduate school directors how to work with actors. So I enjoy doing that, but most of the work I do now is coaching actors.
Cool. Awesome. Nice.
So, and it's fun. I enjoy it, and I'm a 3rd-generation teacher, so it's in my blood.
Have you ever taught anything else, or has it always been just like acting?
No, I actually, when I started out, I was going to be a college professor, and all my degrees, I have a couple of degrees, and they're all in creative writing and English literature.
Cool. All right,
Yeah,
we would ask you more questions, but we gotta go.
We gotta go,
Laura.
Laura.
Next
Do your
time.
thing.
Next
All right,
time
I'll talk to you guys later.
we'll explore the teaching aspect next time we talk to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Take care,
All
Laura.
right, bye, guys.
Have a good one.
Bye.